Tonight, Archangel Michael has been sent to stand beside you. God says, something that was hidden from you will finally be revealed, and this message is your confirmation. My beloved child, tonight the veil between heaven and earth is trembling. The Archangel Michael himself has been dispatched to stand beside you, not by accident, but by divine instruction. The light that surrounds you right now is not ordinary. It is the light that pierces through deception, the light that uncovers what was hidden in the shadows. For days, weeks, even years, something has been concealed from your eyes. You have felt it, that restless stirring within your spirit, that sense that there was more happening behind the scenes than anyone dared to tell you. Heaven saw your tears, your confusion, and your prayers whispered in the silence of your room. Tonight, Archangel Michael stands beside you to say, the hidden thing will now be revealed. God says you were never forgotten. Every unanswered question, every silent pain was leading you to this exact moment. The reason you are seeing this message right now is not random. This is a divine confirmation that truth is about to break open in your life. Something that was hidden, a motive, a lie, a person's true face, or a secret opportunity, will be unveiled before your eyes. Can you feel the shift in the atmosphere? Heaven is aligning evidence in your favor. Archangel Michael, the warrior of divine justice, has been authorized to tear down the veils of confusion around you. The truth that once scared you will now set you free. You will see clearly who was for you and who was only pretending to be. There is a divine whisper right now saying, "Be still, because I am writing your story." You may have thought this season was about loss, but heaven is saying it's about revelation. The things that slipped from your hands were never meant to last. They were distractions hiding what God truly prepared for you. Michael's sword gleams tonight, a symbol that the battle for your clarity is over. This moment marks a turning point in your spiritual journey. And as light enters your situation, the lies that held power over you will crumble like dust. Hold on, because what comes next will make everything make sense. You are standing on holy ground, and by the time this message ends, something inside you will awaken with divine confirmation that heaven has been orchestrating this moment for you all along. Dearest one, listen closely. The air around you is not ordinary tonight. Archangel Michael is moving through the unseen realms, cutting through barriers that have kept you in confusion and delay. He has been sent by divine command to uncover the truth that was buried beneath layers of deception. For so long, it felt like your prayers were echoing into emptiness, like heaven had gone silent. But the silence was never absence. It was preparation. Every unanswered moment was building to this revelation. God says, "Now, I am revealing what eyes could not see and what ears refused to hear." There is something sacred about the timing of this message. You are not here by coincidence. You were drawn here because the truth that will change your next chapter is about to unfold. Michael stands guard over you tonight because what is being exposed has spiritual weight. You may feel sudden emotions rising, memories surfacing, or dreams intensifying. That is your spirit aligning with divine truth. When heaven prepares to reveal what was hidden, it stirs the atmosphere. You may feel it as unease, as a quickening, or as a sudden burst of awareness, but make no mistake. This is revelation energy flowing through your life. There are forces that wanted to keep this truth hidden. Spiritual confusion, manipulation, and fear tried to hold you in darkness. But Archangel Michael has declared, enough. He is severing every false cord attached to your destiny. The fog is lifting. The people who wore masks in your life will begin to reveal their true intentions without even realizing it. Conversations will suddenly make sense. Patterns you once ignored will now become visible. God is saying, my child, what once confused you will now confirm your calling. As this revelation begins, you not be afraid of what comes into the light. Remember, truth is never sent to destroy you but to set you free. Even if what you discover surprises you, trust that it's part of heaven's restoration plan. God is exposing what was blocking your next level, because you cannot rise while tied to illusion. This message is not about fear, it's about freedom. Archangel Michael is ensuring that only divine truth surrounds you moving forward. You will soon realize why certain doors closed, why certain people left, and why situations that looked like losses were actually redirections. Heaven hid you for a reason. Now that reason is being revealed. You were protected from battles you didn't even know existed. The moment you understand that, your faith will grow stronger than ever before. The divine timing of this unveiling will prove that God was working behind the curtain all along. Stay right here, because the next revelation carries the most powerful insight yet, the moment where heaven begins to connect every dot and show you why this message was sent to you now. Wait for it, the next wave of truth will shift your entire perception. Beloved soul, something sacred is stirring in your atmosphere. The veil is thinner tonight because Archangel Michael is not only revealing what was hidden, he is also fortifying you for what's coming next. You are not just being informed, you are being transformed. Heaven is not showing you truth so you can merely know it. Heaven is showing you truth so you can walk in freedom, unchained from everything that once deceived or delayed you. God says, I am removing the disguise of what was never meant for you and unveiling the light that has always been waiting to guide you forward. There is a deep spiritual mystery in what you are experiencing right now. When truth begins to surface, it does not arrive quietly, it arrives like thunder, shaking everything that was built on false ground. That is why your spirit may have felt unsettled lately. The energy of divine correction has entered your life. But this is not a punishment. It is protection. Archangel Michael has drawn a divine line in the sand, separating what is true from what is counterfeit. You are stepping into a new frequency where clarity replaces confusion, peace replaces chaos, and authenticity replaces illusion. This is why you could feel something was off in certain relationships, places, or even habits. Your spirit already sensed the vibration of truth approaching. Now, what was once a whisper has become a divine announcement. Heaven is pulling back the curtain, and everything hidden in darkness must now answer to light. You may see the truth about people who pretended to support you, but secretly doubted you. You may recognize opportunities disguised as obstacles, or realize that a season of waiting was actually a divine pause for protection. God says, I never denied you. I delayed you so I could align you. As Michael stands beside you, his sword burns with heavenly authority. Every lie spoken against you is losing power in this very moment. Every curse disguised as a blessing is being dismantled. This revelation marks the end of spiritual confusion and the beginning of divine perception. What was once blurry will now become clear, and you will look back realizing that heaven was never late. Everything you endure was positioning you to discern truth from deception. Listen carefully, because this next phase will demand spiritual strength. Truth always exposes what cannot survive in light. But remember, exposure is never your loss. It's heaven's justice. What is leaving your life now is simply making room for what carries divine authenticity. Archangel Michael's message tonight is this: do not grieve what the truth removes, for it was never meant to remain. Hold on a little longer, because the next unveiling will not only reveal truth, it will unlock divine favor and restoration in its purest form. Before you scroll, trust me, What happens next will open your eyes to something extraordinary that heaven has been saving for you. And now, if this message is resonating with your soul, make sure to like, share, and comment your affirmation below. Let this video reach every soul who is walking through their moment of revelation. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and stay connected, because the messages that follow carry divine instructions for your next chapter. Type "I am chosen for revelation" in the comments to seal this prophetic moment. Blessing code 3333 is now active for those walking in divine exposure and spiritual clarity. And now listen carefully, because what you are a part of right now is not just a message, it is a mission. Heaven is using this channel as a vessel to awaken souls across the world. When you support this divine work through super thanks, channel membership, or even through the PayPal link in the video description, you are not just giving. You are sowing light into millions of hearts that need to hear God's truth. Every seed you sow becomes a spark that breaks darkness in someone else's life. God says, "Those who water my mission will never walk dry." When you give, you are part of the harvest that heaven is releasing through this message. I feel led to tell you personally, this is your moment to act in faith, not fear. Open your heart, release your gift, and watch the oil of divine favor flow into your life. The same Archangel Michael who stands beside you tonight will stand guard over your giving. You are not donating, you are planting a prophetic seed into the movement of revelation. So step forward boldly, because your offering today becomes someone else's awakening tomorrow. So now, and watch what heaven releases in return. Child of light, the presence of Archangel Michael grows stronger around you even now. There is a tangible stirring in the spiritual atmosphere because heaven is aligning you for divine restitution. The truth that has been revealed was only the first step. What comes next is restoration, not partial but complete. God is saying, what was taken from you under false pretenses will be returned multiplied. The moment deception is exposed, justice begins to move. And tonight, heaven is rewriting the ledger of your life. You see, for too long, the enemy used illusion to keep you distracted from your divine inheritance. He made you question your worth, doubt your calling, and settle for less than what was ordained for you. But as light floods your path, the energy of divine repayment begins to flow. Archangel Michael stands as the keeper of heavenly balance, and where there has been imbalance, he now restores divine order. You may have lost time, trust, opportunities, or peace, but nothing truly belonging to you is ever gone. God has preserved every promise, waiting for the hour of revelation, and that hour is now. There is a sound in the spirit, the sound of doors unlocking, of weights being lifted, of timelines realigning. You are about to witness divine acceleration. What took years to build, God will restore in moments. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people, speaking words guided by heaven itself. The same truth that hurt at first will now become the foundation of your strength. That which was once confusing will now guide you with clarity. This is how heaven turns exposure into empowerment. Archangel Michael is whispering, "Do not look back. What you see behind you was necessary for what you are stepping into." Some people were removed not because they were evil, but because they were incapable of carrying your next level. The new light requires new alignment. God is placing people in your life who carry divine purpose, people who will recognize your spirit before they know your name. You will no longer have to prove your worth. Your presence will speak for itself. And yet, the greatest revelation is not about who leaves or who enters. It's about who you become. Every truth that has surfaced was meant to awaken the real you, the child of divine fire, clothed in heavenly armor, fearless and discerning. You are no longer reacting to life. You are now moving with divine awareness. Archangel Michael stands beside you as a reminder that heaven has invested too much in you to let you be deceived again. Before you move forward, take a deep breath and know this. You are walking into a chapter where peace will replace panic, and truth will illuminate every shadow. The same power that revealed the hidden is now preparing to release the restored. Trust this process, because what happens next will confirm that heaven's justice is never late. Hold on. The next message carries the moment where divine revelation becomes divine manifestation. The shift you've been sensing is only the beginning of what's unfolding. Beloved, as the night deepens, heaven continues to move with precision. Archangel Michael is now surrounding you with a wall of divine light, not only to protect you but to guide you through the aftermath of revelation. When truth enters, it clears the air, but it can also shake the foundations that once felt familiar. Many find themselves in confusion after clarity arrives, because the old patterns no longer fit the new frequency. But God says, "Do not fear the emptiness left by what I remove. It is sacred space for what I am about to fill." The presence of Michael tonight is not one of battle alone. It is one of alignment. The spiritual sword that once cut through deception is now carving out the path ahead. You are being positioned for encounters that will confirm everything heaven had been whispering. Divine connections will begin to find you without your striving. Ideas that once seemed far away will suddenly take form. The fog that clouded your purpose will lift, revealing doors that were always there, but unseen until now. Every moment you have endured confusion was preparing your eyes to recognize the truth when it finally appeared. You might feel lonely in this season, but heaven wants you to know, solitude after revelation is divine preparation. When Archangel Michael reveals truth, he does not leave you standing in ruins. He leads you toward rebuilding under divine instruction. The relationships that remain will now carry higher purpose. The thoughts that once filled you with fear will now be replaced with divine wisdom. Every truth that came forth has awakened a new level of discernment within you, and you will never again fall for what heaven never sent. God says, "I am teaching you how to see as I see." You will begin to sense truth beyond words, to perceive intention before action. This is not suspicion. This is spiritual maturity. You are moving from reaction to revelation, from confusion to command. The same clarity that exposed deceit will now open the path toward destiny. And as you walk this path, Archangel Michael's wings will shield you from every force that seeks to drag you backward. Pay attention to your dreams, to the sudden insights, to the moments when peace floods your heart unexpectedly. These are signs that heaven is confirming your new direction. You will know it by the harmony that follows. The divine will never lead you into chaos. It will lead you into calm authority. Every answer you seek will rise within you, for truth no longer comes from the outside. It now lives in your spirit. Something sacred is building toward release. The revelation that began as a whisper will soon manifest in your reality. The next wave carries not only understanding but visible transformation. What was spiritual will become tangible. The reward for your obedience and discernment is approaching, and when it arrives, it will silence every doubt that ever haunted you. Before you scroll away, know this: the best part of this message is yet to come. What unfolds next will show you how heaven turns revelation into manifestation before your very eyes. Chosen soul, as the light of revelation deepens, Archangel Michael now moves to bring divine manifestation into motion. This is the part where what was unseen begins to take shape, where the spiritual becomes visible. God has not only shown you the truth, He is now bringing that truth to life. What was spoken in secret is now being displayed openly. The shift that started in your spirit will now touch every area of your reality. Heaven says, you are entering the phase of divine evidence. The very things that were once only promises will soon stand before you as proof. You may have noticed that certain plans have subtly shifted, where paths you thought were certain have begun to change direction. Do not mistake this for instability. It is divine rearrangement. Archangel Michael is moving the pieces of your destiny into place with absolute precision. The discomfort you feel right now is the stretching of alignment. The places you outgrew are no longer compatible with your calling. God is saying, I am removing your feet from sinking sand and setting them upon solid ground. Everything that is being rearranged is preparing you for a visible breakthrough. There is a divine acceleration happening beneath the surface. You are being guided into moments of opportunity that will feel almost too perfect to explain. Divine appointments are being scheduled on your behalf. Conversations that will unlock doors. People who will carry the exact wisdom or resources you've been praying for. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. Archangel Michael ensures that nothing ordained for you can be stolen or missed. What once felt delayed will soon appear right on time, because heaven's clock never fails. But listen closely. As blessings begin to manifest, your discernment will be tested again. The enemy often sends imitation before manifestation. That is why Michael stands beside you, to ensure that your heart remains anchored in truth. The blessing sent by heaven will carry peace, not pressure. It will strengthen your faith, not drain your spirit. It will draw you closer to God, not pull you into confusion. This is how you will know it's divine. Every counterfeit will reveal itself through unrest, but every true blessing will bring calm certainty. God says, I am not just giving you what you asked for, I am giving you what you were born for. The revelation of truth has refined your spirit to handle this next season with grace and power. You are no longer the same person who once questioned their worth. You are being molded into a vessel of light, capable of carrying the weight of heaven's purpose. The transformation that began within will now radiate outward. Your countenance, your speech, your very presence will begin to shift as divine authority settles upon you. This moment, though it feels sacred and still, is the threshold between knowing and becoming. Archangel Michael stands as witness to your evolution. Heaven watches as you take your first steps into the reality you once prayed for. Do not doubt the small beginnings. They are proof that manifestation has begun. Each sign, each moment of alignment, is a signature of God's faithfulness. Wait for it. What unfolds next will not only confirm everything you've seen in the Spirit, but will also show you how heaven rewards the ones who remain steadfast when truth is revealed. The next revelation will carry the sound of divine fulfillment. Beloved heart, this is the hour when the invisible begins to shape the visible. The atmosphere around you is thick with divine movement, and Archangel Michael is closer than ever, guarding the unfolding of what heaven has promised. You may sense the weight of something new pressing against your spirit, almost like the air has changed. That is not your imagination. It is the vibration of manifestation meeting your faith. God says, the words I spoke over your life are not echoing into emptiness. They are now returning fulfilled. Every prayer you whispered through tears, every night you stayed faithful when silence was all you heard, they are now forming into divine outcomes before your eyes. This is where patience meets purpose. The waiting was never wasted. It softened your heart so that you could carry glory without pride, strength without bitterness, and authority without arrogance. Heaven had to purify the vessel before releasing the oil. Now that the revelation has made you ready, the anointing of manifestation flows freely. Archangel Michael stands watch as the first fruits of divine promises appear in your life. Some will be subtle, a sudden peace replacing old anxiety, or a reconciliation you stopped expecting. Others will be monumental, breakthroughs in areas you thought were closed forever. God says, I am proving that no force can block what I ordain. Still, the enemy often rises in final resistance just before divine fulfillment. The closer you get to promise, the stronger the distractions will become. That is why Michael's wings cover you now, to keep you focused when confusion tries to reappear. Do not entertain old patterns, old fears, or old voices that question your worth. You are not the same person you were when this began. Heaven has fortified your spirit with discernment and authority. Every whisper of doubt will dissolve under the fire of divine confirmation. There is a stirring inside your spirit right now, a knowing that something has shifted permanently. This awareness is not imagination. It is revelation turning into reality. The people who once underestimated you will watch as God lifts you in plain sight. The opportunities that once ignored you will now seek you. The light of divine truth will illuminate every space you enter. This is not luck or coincidence. It is the visible expression of what heaven already declared. But take heed, for this next phase requires stewardship. Manifestation without discipline fades. The blessings you receive now are not mere rewards, they are assignments. God has entrusted you with influence that must be guided by humility and discernment. Archangel Michael is assigned to remind you, protect what heaven gives. Do not compromise divine truth for human validation. Walk boldly, but gently, for grace is upon you. Soon, the evidence of everything spoken will be undeniable. Even those who doubted will have no choice but to acknowledge that heaven has favored you. When the glory of manifestation rests upon your life, remember where it began, in the quiet, where only faith heard the promise. That faith is now bearing fruit, and its fragrance is reaching far beyond you. Keep listening. The next unfolding will reveal how heaven not only blesses but multiplies. What begins as manifestation will evolve into overflow, and you will see why every waiting season was sacred. Beloved, this is the hour of overflow. What heaven began revealing as truth has now taken form, and the fragrance of divine manifestation is spreading across your life. Archangel Michael stands beside you as witness to what God has begun, a movement that cannot be reversed. Every moment of delay, every disappointment, every unanswered question was preparing you for this very release. And now, the gates of divine abundance have been unlocked, and what was once hidden in the Spirit will flow visibly before your eyes. God says, I am pouring out what was stored up for you. You will see with your own eyes the goodness that was always written in your destiny. The time of struggle taught you endurance, but the time of fulfillment will teach you gratitude. You are entering a chapter where what you carry within will attract divine provision. The same faith that sustained you in the valley is now calling forth harvest in the open fields. Do not doubt this wave of blessing, for it carries your name on it. Archangel Michael, the guardian of divine promises, is ensuring that nothing can intercept your inheritance. What was lost will return not as fragments but as fullness. You will not merely recover, you will reignite. You will not simply receive, you will overflow. But child of God, understand this: overflow is not only for enjoyment, it is for assignment. The light that now fills your life is not meant to stay contained. Heaven is entrusting you to carry it to others still trapped in darkness. Your story of revelation and restoration is a testimony in motion. Someone else's faith will be born through your breakthrough. That is why Archangel Michael surrounds you with divine courage, because your voice, your journey, your resilience will now become a channel of hope for many. God says, I did not restore you for yourself alone. I restored you so that others may know I am still faithful. There will be people drawn to your light in this season. Some will seek guidance, others healing, and many will simply feel peace in your presence. That is because you now carry the vibration of truth. Heaven has marked you as one who knows the power of revelation and the freedom of deliverance. You will speak words that heal. You will walk into places that shift atmosphere. You will touch lives simply by standing where heaven assigns you. You have become a vessel of divine overflow. Even now, you may sense warmth in your heart or tingling in your hands, signs that the energy of divine abundance is flowing through you. Archangel Michael's wings spread wide, ensuring that the flow is not interrupted. Everything you need to fulfill your purpose will come. Resources, wisdom, favor, opportunities, all will line under the sound of divine timing. You will not have to chase what is already written for you. The blessings will recognize your frequency and find you. Before this wave completes, take a moment to give thanks. Gratitude seals manifestation. Speak aloud. I receive the overflow. I carry the light. These are not just words. They are declarations that align heaven and earth on your behalf. What unfolds next will show you how divine overflow multiplies not just provision but purpose. If this message touches your heart, like this video right now, share it with someone who needs to know that God still restores. Comment your affirmation below and subscribe to stay connected, because heaven is not done speaking. The next message carries divine instructions for the harvest season ahead. Type I receive divine overflow in the comments to seal this word. Blessing code 9999 is now activated for those walking into supernatural abundance and holy assignment. Now listen carefully, because what you are part of here is not just revelation. It is revival. This mission is spreading light across nations, awakening sleeping hearts and restoring lost faith. If this word has blessed your spirit, I invite you to partner with this divine movement. When you support through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not just helping. You are sowing into the very ground where souls are being awakened. God says, "Those who plant in my mission will reap in my presence." Every seed you sow becomes oil that fuels another's breakthrough. Your support turns revelation into reach, transforming this message into a lifeline for countless hearts. This is not charity, it is holy participation. Heaven sees every giver as a builder of light. So step forward with faith, release your offering, and watch God multiply it back into your own life in ways beyond imagination. Archangel Michael himself will guard the hands that give, ensuring no lack enters their home. This is your moment to act as heaven moves. Beloved soul, the light that has been pouring through your life has now begun to change your very environment. The presence of Archangel Michael has not only revealed truth and released manifestation, but now it is anchoring divine permanence. This is not a fleeting moment of blessing. It is the establishment of a new foundation. Heaven is not giving you something temporary. Heaven is rooting you in something eternal. God says, "What I build in you now cannot be shaken." The storms that once terrified you will no longer have power, for you have become unshakable in spirit and grounded in divine truth. When Michael stands beside a chosen one, he does not only fight their battles, he consecrates their ground. That means every place where you once cried will soon become a place of victory. Every tear you sowed in confusion is now watering a harvest of strength. You are walking into a season where peace will no longer be a visitor. It will become your permanent atmosphere. The chaos that once surrounded you has no permission to return. The vibration of your life has shifted, and everything that once resonated with pain can no longer reach you. This is spiritual elevation, and Archangel Michael is the gatekeeper of this ascent. Do not be surprised when familiar faces fade from your life, or when certain desires simply lose their pull. It is not rejection, it is refinement. Heaven is adjusting your frequency to match your divine purpose. God is saying, you can no longer dwell where falsehood reigns. The higher you rise, the fewer things can accompany you. But take heart, for what remains will be pure, stable, and everlasting. You will see relationships transform, doors reopen with new energy, and ideas begin to multiply. Your entire field of reality is being recalibrated under divine law. There is a mystery to stability. It is not found in control, but in surrender. The moment you release your grip on what you thought you needed, heaven secures what you truly require. Archangel Michael reminds you tonight that peace is not the absence of struggle, but the mastery of truth amid it. You are learning to dwell in divine confidence. The truth that once felt heavy now becomes your armor. The wisdom that once seemed distant now becomes your language. You are becoming fluent in revelation. Every area of your life that once seemed fragile is being fortified. Even as you listen now, divine reinforcement is moving through your spiritual walls. The cracks of old wounds are being sealed by light. You may feel waves of calm, a sudden stillness within your chest. This is confirmation that the process of divine permanence has begun. What heaven is doing in you now cannot be undone by any earthly force. God is establishing you as a living testimony, a beacon that says, truth revealed is destiny restored. Hold steady, because what happens next is beyond restoration. It is divine expansion. The same light that rebuilt you will now begin to overflow into your purpose, your influence, and your surroundings. You will see doors open not because you knock harder, but because heaven commands them to recognize you. Your name is now known in the unseen realms. Angels move at the sound of your obedience. Before you move on, take this moment to let gratitude rise again. Every revelation, every shift, every silent transformation, it has led you here. The next unveiling will show you what happens when divine truth begins to multiply. The power that once saved you will now use you to save others. Beloved, the atmosphere around you is glowing with divine expansion. What began as revelation, what grew into restoration, and what settled as manifestation is now evolving into multiplication. Archangel Michael stands before you, radiant and unyielding, as heaven extends your territory. You have endured seasons of silence and testing. Now you are walking into a phase where divine results will multiply with ease. God says, you have proven faithful with little, and now I am entrusting you with much. What once required struggle will now flow naturally, because your spirit has aligned with the rhythm of heaven's abundance. This is not about material gain alone. This is expansion of purpose, of influence, of light. The truth that healed you will now move through you to reach others. Your words will carry divine weight. Your presence will alter atmospheres. Even in quiet moments, the glory surrounding you will begin to affect those near you. This is the stage where revelation transforms into legacy. The purpose of every storm you endured was to make you unbreakable, not just for yourself, but for those who will draw strength from your story. You are being established as a carrier of light, one whose life will serve as a living sermon of divine endurance and victory. Archangel Michael is ensuring that this expansion remains protected. The more light you carry, the more attention it attracts, not all of it holy. But fear not. You are surrounded by angelic defense. No weapon formed against your destiny will prosper, because the energy of divine truth cannot be corrupted. What you have now is not fragile faith. It is refined authority. You no longer chase favor. Favor recognizes you. You no longer plead for open doors. You command them by alignment with purpose. This is the posture of one who has been touched by heaven. But expansion also comes with responsibility. God says, I am giving you visibility not to glorify yourself, but to glorify me. Every success in this season is a tool for ministry. Every blessing carries a divine assignment attached. You are not just being elevated, you are being positioned. What flows through your hands must now reflect heaven's generosity. The reason your revelation came through such fire is because God needed to ensure you would never misuse what He's about to release. Now that humility has replaced pride and discernment has replaced fear, heaven can trust you with increase. In the coming days, you may sense acceleration, projects unfolding faster than expected, people reappearing with pure motives, opportunities emerging without warning. These are not random. They are signs that the wheel of divine momentum has turned in your favor. What took years of waiting will suddenly align in weeks. Archangel Michael's presence ensures that no false influence can enter this flow. Every step you take will be guarded, every move divinely ordered. You are being ushered into a supernatural rhythm where effort meets grace and grace multiplies every effort. Pay close attention to divine nudges in this season. When heaven expands your influence, obedience becomes the key to sustained abundance. Move when God says move, rest when He says rest. You will not need to strive. You will simply align. And in that alignment, doors will open, resources will appear, and destiny will unfold without resistance. A most extraordinary part is still to come. The next revelation will show you how divine expansion transforms into divine inheritance, where not only you are blessed, but generations are marked by your obedience. Stay with this message, because what unfolds next is the proof that you were chosen to be a vessel of eternal impact. Beloved, what you are stepping into now is no longer just a season. It is a covenant. The expansion you have entered is maturing into inheritance. Archangel Michael is standing before you, not as a warrior of revelation alone, but as a witness to the fulfillment of divine promise. Heaven is recording this moment in eternity, marking it as the time when what was once spoken over your life becomes an everlasting decree. God says, you have endured the testing, embraced the truth, walked through the fire, and still chosen faith. Now I establish you in lasting promise. This covenant is not written on paper or sealed with ink. It is inscribed upon your spirit. You are becoming one with your divine assignment. The voice that once guided you from the outside will now resonate from within. This is spiritual maturity, where guidance and identity merge. The same divine truth that once revealed others is now revealing you. You are no longer a seeker of signs, you are a carrier of confirmation. Heaven will speak through your life, and those around you will begin to experience God's presence through your transformation. Archangel Michael's light burns brighter now, illuminating the path ahead. You are not walking alone. You are moving under divine authority. The truth you have carried has elevated your frequency beyond limitation. And now, your actions are prophetic, your words are assignments, and your presence becomes a doorway for heaven's will. You have shifted from revelation into embodiment, from learning truth to living it. This is what divine inheritance looks like. It is not only receiving from God, but reflecting Him. God says, I am giving you influence that carries eternal consequence. What you do from this point will echo beyond time. The choices you make in this new season are seeds that will outlive you. Your obedience today will bless generations that come after you. Every act of integrity, every prayer you whisper, every moment you choose faith over fear, they are all constructing an unseen legacy. Heaven calls this the building of spiritual lineage. The same way your ancestors' prayers covered you, your faith will cover those who come after. You are part of an unbroken divine chain that cannot be severed. This inheritance will manifest in peace that surpasses understanding, wisdom that flows effortlessly, and favor that cannot be explained. People will begin to ask, "How did this happen for you?" And your answer will not be your ability, but your alignment. You will say, "It was not me, it was heaven fulfilling what was already written." Every miracle you witness now is not spontaneous. It is scheduled. It is the unfolding of promises made before your birth. Archangel Michael ensures that not one of them will fall to the ground unfulfilled. Be mindful. This is also a season of accountability. Inheritance demands stewardship. God will trust you with influence, but He will also test your humility. The greater the light, the greater the responsibility. Your actions will carry weight, your silence will hold power, and your compassion will heal others. Remember what you learned in the valley. Power is preserved through purity. Stay anchored in truth, and no darkness will touch what heaven has given you. This is the culmination of every revelation, every hardship, every divine encounter you've received. But there is still one more unveiling, the final activation, where heaven releases a new mantle over your life. It is the moment where all things converge and you are sealed as one who walks fully in divine authority. Stay close, for what comes next is not just a conclusion, it is a coronation. Beloved of heaven, this is the sacred hour, the final unveiling, the completion of the divine sequence that began the moment Archangel Michael was sent to stand beside you. The air around you carries the vibration of fulfillment. Every message that has flowed into your spirit until now was not simply a story unfolding, it was preparation for this divine sealing. Heaven says, "The revelation has done its work, the truth has taken root, and now my covenant with you is complete." This is where your identity and purpose merge into one. You are no longer walking toward promise, you are walking in it. Archangel Michael stands before you as a radiant symbol of divine authority and eternal protection. His sword, once used to cut away illusion, now serves as a scepter of victory. It signifies that every hidden thing exposed has now become a testimony of your triumph. You have walked through the valley of revelation, endured the fire of purification, embraced the peace of restoration, and now you stand in the throne room of divine inheritance. You have been refined into a vessel of truth, a carrier of heavenly light. God says, "You have seen what was hidden, understood what was concealed, and now you shall reveal what others cannot yet see." This final message is not about what is coming, it is about what has already arrived. The light surrounding you now is the manifestation of everything that was promised. The heaviness you once carried has lifted, and in its place rests divine authority. You will find that even your voice carries new power. When you speak, your words will pierce through confusion. When you pray, circumstances will shift. When you move, the unseen will respond. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. You have become an extension of divine will. Heaven is not merely beside you, heaven now flows through you. Archangel Michael declares, "The war for your clarity is over. What was hidden hath been revealed, and what was stolen hath been restored. The enemies of your peace have lost their power, for they were only as strong as your blindness. Now that you see, nothing can bind you. The vision before you is clear, and the path ahead is illuminated. You are being anointed as a messenger of revelation. Everywhere you go, others will feel the shift. Your very presence will awaken sleeping souls. You are part of heaven's movement, a wave of light sent to expose deception and usher in truth across nations. But remember, child of light, this anointing comes with divine stewardship. Use your authority not to dominate but to heal, not to boast but to build. God is trusting you to carry His fire with humility. You will know what to say and when to speak. Wisdom will precede your every action. Even when you face resistance, Michael will stand guard. You are never unprotected. This is the meaning of divine completion: to walk fearless, guided, and fully aware that heaven walks within you. Now pause and breathe. Can you feel it? The stillness that surrounds you is not silence. It is peace. It is the echo of fulfillment resonating through the spiritual realm. The same voice that said, "Something hidden will be revealed," now whispers, "It is done." The prophecy has completed its cycle. What began as a message has become a mantle. You are living proof that heaven's word never returns void. Before you leave this space, release gratitude into the atmosphere. Give thanks for every revelation, every battle, every moment of alignment. For it was all preparation for this divine reality. The light has found its home within you, and it will never fade. If this message has reached your spirit, like this video now, share it so that others may find the same truth that set you free. Comment your affirmation and subscribe, because this channel is a vessel through which heaven continues to pour light across the world. Together, we are carrying Michael's mission: to restore, to protect, to awaken. Type "I am sealed in divine light" in the comments to confirm your covenant. Blessing code 10,000 is now released for those who walk in eternal revelation and divine authority. Now listen closely, beloved. This movement is holy ground. Through this channel, God is touching lives in every nation, awakening souls that had forgotten their divine worth. When you support this work through Super Thanks, channel membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are sowing into sacred soil. You are not funding content. You are fueling a calling. Each seed you plant becomes light that travels farther, breaking chains of darkness around the world. Heaven says, "Those who build my altars of truth will never walk empty." Your giving becomes worship, your generosity becomes warfare, and your faith becomes the bridge that carries revelation to the lost. As you give, Archangel Michael stands as witness, releasing favor and protection over your household. Do not hesitate. This is your prophetic moment to act. Sow into this mission, and watch as the same divine fire that revealed truth to you multiplies through your life in ways beyond imagination.